Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the PLA podcast. I have an incredible guest here that I am truly looking forward to interviewing today on the PLA podcast. Ganesh, welcome. It's such a treat to have you on here.
Hey, Dunia. Happy to be here. And thank you for having me on your podcast.
Truly looking forward to asking you all these questions and getting to know you even more so than I've had the privilege of doing so through the PLA community. But before I do that, I'd love for our audience to get to know you just as much as I have over the last few months and run them through your story, a little bit about your background. So, welcome, Ganesh Balam. Born and raised in Hyderabad, India, Ganesh comes from humble beginnings, a mechanical engineer who charted his own path into the world of technology and leadership. After moving to the United States, he built a career that spans more than 2 decades across IT, management, and financial services. Today, he serves as a product owner and tech lead at at Bank of America, where he leads globally distributed teams to deliver strategic technology solutions that elevate customer experience, enhance efficiency, and ensure compliance. Ganesh's leadership philosophy centers around accountability, collaboration, and continuous learning, qualities that have guided him in his managing complex product roadmaps and aligning technology with business vision. One of his most impactful achievements was transitioning critical testing projects from external vendors to in house teams, driving major cost savings while improving quality and ownership. Known for his empathy and communication, Ganesh believes strong leadership begins with trust and empowerment, creating environments where teams feel seen and inspired to do their best work. Outside of work, he's a proud family man, deeply rooted in the Dallas Fort Worth community, bringing the same sense of balance, purpose, and grounded integrity to his personal life as he does to his professional journey. Welcome, Ganesh, to the PLA podcast. It's such a treat to have you on here this evening.
Dunia, you just nailed my entire life in just two, few sentences. Yes, that's what it is right now, where I am with my professional life and my personal life. Thank you.
It's such a treat to have you on here, and it's such a treat to read through your story. And I'd love, as my very first question, is to ask you to take us to the very beginning. Where did it all really all start?
Yeah, I mean, when we graduated, right, like in that time in Hyderabad, not many opportunities out there, but coming from a mechanical engineering background, I started pursuing my own mechanical career path. And then we had very few opportunities that time. But we started as a engineer and working on the joined a company and started working on my mechanical career. But after working certain period of time, then the internet boom hit it. Then we see that entire technology disruption happened with internet in 2000, and then that's when I said like this is some opportunity. Whenever there's a disruption happens in the technological world, that's an opportunity for us to be young engineers to jump in. And I started fascinated by the internet storm, the kind of leveraging happening within the way we used to do things in a manual way. Now I see things happening on in air in internet, like everywhere, like it's great. So that excited me, and then I started. Okay, why don't we change my path to IT world? And that's when I started my journey as a software engineer, and then got my hands dirty playing with the all IT tools and getting the relevant training and all. So that's how we did a good segue, and luckily for us, that disruption happened that time.
Incredible. Wow. And your timing, oftentimes we don't realize this before making these major decisions, but life has impeccable timing. And your timing really in entering that IT space has just been really impressive, truly.
Absolutely, because that time I think India as a country, like we have good number of young population, and having many opportunities coming in our way, it's a blessing. But that time we don't see it as like what is this new technology is coming out. But I know that mainframe, Y2K happened, and then the internet, the web-based technology taken a different level altogether. And then I think I started that fascinated me. Like we try to see solutions and helping the people to automate a lot of stuff and getting the things done in a different fashion altogether. That like very much where my values are looking low, to impact to create an impact. What is the impact we are going to do? How to see the bigger picture? What is that I'm going to help somebody with my application development or whatnot? So that really excited me to jump into IT space and then started and build my career. And here I am right now. So and that eventually led a path to US. So that also helped me to come down here and then take to next level.
Absolutely. And I'd be curious, what would you have wanted to hear as advice, knowing everything that you know now at the very beginning of your career before you headed to the US?
Yeah, that time, unfortunately, we don't have many tools or like there's no internet that time. We just started there and we don't have podcasts like this one where we can learn and get the expertise, opinions or share their, pick their brains, right? Today, everything is available at fingertips. We have YouTube. We can go and learn anything, whatever we want. And we have so many chat GPT now, AI is picking up. There's so much, you have information at fingertips. That time it's not many of them. So I would say, like, going back, I would say the only better is to books. That is the only thing available at my thing, which is affordable also, to go to a library or read as much as you can or buy a book of which of your like interest and start reading it. And I would say, like, that is one thing I would do, that everyone should start reading the books at the early age. The sooner the better they start. And then I think that time you don't have any mentors to look forward. So it's like, when I started, it's like, go figure it out. Hey, we don't know. So I mean, somebody if I ask my parents, they say, like, we don't know what you're talking about, just go figure it out. So everything, like, took time, understand what it is, what I want, whether I'm in line aligned with what I want, and where to go and ask for information. It was like a that it took a long time than actual doing the work to get where I want. So
Absolutely.
I would say anyone who's starting early, figure out a mentor or get a mentorship, and then start having reading books. That time it takes you to the different time horizon and get a perspective of what the writer is telling about, and you can learn and see what the you can also go time travel and learn things what happened that time and what is the mindset of the people, how they changed, what they changed, and why they have been successful in their careers. So those are the two areas I would say, like, definitely if I go back early to my young age, I would say start reading books and have a mentor in your life. And maybe the other item I would can pick is, I can go on and on, but the other thing I would like to pick is get some financial literacy at early age.
Absolutely.
Because even now at this age, I see people struggling to do what do I need to do with 401k, where
Yeah.
to put my money, where to save or invest. But I think having financial knowledge literacy at the early age, you can become financially independent sooner than later. That way at least you can live your life on a purpose rather than in a default setting.
Absolutely. Ganesh, you bring up such important points, and that importance of reading books and our love of learning and knowledge is so key because it creates so many more opportunities and allows us, like you said, to time travel and to condense time, whether reading biographies or understanding other people's successes and journeys, their how they've built businesses, how they've managed their careers, how they've weathered storms, whether it's historical stories or some of the greatest innovators of our time. I think you bring up such an important piece. And mentorship, whether it's a mentorship through reading the stories of these mentors or actually having a mentor to hold us accountable, to guide us through the way, and to give us those tools and techniques that will speed things up, makes it so much easier. And I love that last piece on financial literacy. Financial literacy truly gives us a competitive edge to move forward and really creates an independence where we're not, stuck in being dependent on each paycheck, on our job, on what's happening in the times. Yes, there's so much value in what you've just shared, truly.
Absolutely right, because that stresses your life. I mean, that changes your day-to-day activity, what you do on a daily basis, than what you want to really want to accomplish as a on your life on a purposeful, what you live an intentional life rather than just going by looking out, okay, 9 to 5, or working on a paycheck to paycheck, where your next bill comes off, or paying just bills on time. So I think once we start that journey early, it's just compounding. People do ignore the fact of that's the reason why it's called as like one of the eight wonders of how do we compound. So I think the early starting anyone, irrespective of what their profession could be, what where you land up, you could be an entrepreneur, you can be an artist, you can a political path, or you can anything you choose. But having that area is fixed on your life, then I think rest of the things fall in place.
Absolutely. I love that. And the power of learning the power of compounding early is, one of the most important lessons one can learn in a lifetime. I'm curious, Ganesh, we oftentimes talk about some of the highlights of one's career, the best times, the good times, the achievements. And really what I find are the most important things to talk about are really the greatest challenges of our career because they shape who we are. And though it's through those storms that we really build our character, build our knowledge, build our tool belt that allows us to become truly successful in the end in such a sustainable way and really resilient. I'd love to know what were the biggest challenges of your own career?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love this question because as an IT professional, change is constant. That is the only thing constant. Every day we woke up for new challenges at work, and there's new technology dropping out every moment, and industry is very vibrant and disrupting all the time.
Yeah.
So as a professional, I need to be very flexible and on a continuous learning path. So the challenges come in many ways, from the customer, from the within the team, outside team, or from the vendor, how to manage and set the expectations. So I think as a continuous learner of the my game and be on top of my game all the time, and what technology is coming in our way and what we are implementation we're doing with, and what commitments we are giving to our customers. So I think there were a lot of challenges across the board in my career, and to just before where I am right now, I was a consultant all the time. So I walk in, and then they expect you to fix the stuff. Okay, this guy is here, Mr. Fixer is here. So we let him take care of it and then handle and make us feel good. End of the day,
Yeah.
I should say them, you feel, make them good, and everything is taken care of. So I walk in every project, every client of mine where I work, and I came out with the flying colors. Leave up to the people. The environment is new. The people is new. The expectation is new. The management is asking for some questions from word go. So we are. I need to be on top of my game. But as I said, like being flexible and on a continuous learning path definitely helped me to be where I am and able to come out as a flying colors. So every project I did is a kind of challenge in a way, because as a consultant you don't belong to the company, but you are expected to deliver from the word from the day one.
Mm. Yeah.
So the learning curve is very less. You have to hit the ground running from the day one.
Yeah.
So I think I excel in that roles. Multiple working with multiple clients, multiple roles I played with, and just making sure that I belong to. First thing is to make sure that now is calm and be a great communicator. And communication is such a masterful. People often ignore that, but that's a key skill to put forward what you bring value to the table. I think the moment you open your mouth, then people pay attention to it, and then that will calm the now. Yes, we are the right guy at the job to do the thing. So I think those tools in my armory helped me wherever I go, and to come out of every challenge I faced.
Absolutely. I think definitely having so many consultants in my own network, they can totally relate to this piece of being invited on projects, almost like coming in like the absolute superhero. And, the organization thinking, this person's going to turn on the lights and everything's going to be fine and dandy. And you brought up a very key word at the beginning of your share, and is the word of flexibility. I think one of the big things is we forget the importance of flexibility. And as a consultant, you have absolutely no choice but to learn to be flexible and to know when and how to be flexible in certain environments, in certain projects, and certain parts of the process of change and transformation through an organization. So, Ganesh, you hit the nail on the head. I think there's a lot of value in putting yourself continuously through the challenge of these consulting projects that really aren't easy, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely, right. Whenever there's certain projects where we there is a one initiative they want to get across the board, and not maybe all the user communities buy that idea. And when you walk in as a consultant, then everyone has to take a frustration on you, and we have to balance that the in-house political differences they have, and between the two lines of business or two lines of departments, and also be a negotiate between them, and successfully protect my job, at the same time deliver more above and beyond. That way, at least to win the confidence of the teams, and navigate through the leadership circle, so that that way at least the business is okay with you, the technology is okay with you. And end of the day, it's blame game, that if something goes to deploy in production, if something happens, then it's easy to blame our consultant. They
Mm,
become one, it becomes that nightmare to deal with. But having that, setting the right expectations, clear communication, and I'm showing a thoughtful leadership from the day one. I think that helped me to stick to where I am and communicate consistently where we are at every level, to from the top management to the stakeholder to the down to the end user community. That helped me big time to navigate through all these hurdles.
wow, I love it, Ganesh. And I think one of the big things is you brought up the power and the importance of taking care of those relationships that we're building, especially in our professional careers. And I'm curious, with the surge of use of AI in every single industry, and really in our professional lives, like in our personal lives. I'd love to get your take, because this is in some ways coming up against a lot of these relationships and our emphasis of the importance of these relationships.
Absolutely. I think this is one more exciting times we are living into. At least I am living into, when I come from that internet disruption. Now I'm seeing that AI disruption happening, and that everything is changing, right? I mean, the 20 years of experience what I have now, it looks like it's something completely different. Now, a young guy who's starting, like, who just joined college graduate, you see things completely different than when I was started my career. The way you used to do things, everything is like, you ask for it, there is a genie out there, comes out and does the things for you. Earlier we used to code, write, test, deploy, and make sure that it's working as expected, or we need to monitor that. It takes a complete 9 yards. But now I see it's like, piece of cake, that's what it is. But again, every technology comes with its own challenges, and also when you have power, the power should be in the right hands and
Mm,
for the right intentions. So we have to make sure that, as long as, I mean, even at this stage, Dunya, we are not sure where it takes next couple of years or next 5 years from now, because every 3 months we are seeing so dramatic change. I think it's fascinating at the same time. At the same time, it's kind of very vulnerable, putting us to in that spot. So we need to be navigate through this turbulence, the technology turbulence, I would say. But I think we come out with flying colors as long as we handle it properly.
yeah.
It's a great, exciting times where we are in right now, and I see the careers will be completely sea change from 10 years from now. So there will be many different roles, and the way we do things will be different.
Absolutely, Ganesh. I think there's something so powerful in what you've shared. There's so much unknown still ahead, but it can be one of the most exciting times of all of our lives and careers, just because of, the application and the productivity, the surge of productivity. And also what I love is that piece where you're saying the next generation is seeing the world and seeing their professional life so differently than these past generations have seen. So it's a very exciting time. We've talked so much about what's coming. I am very curious, what for you is still a very exciting legacy and impact that you're still looking forward to leaving behind in this world?
Oh, yeah, that's a question I always ponder on, and think about myself, do some introspection, Dunya, and see what is the legacy I want to leave it behind, and what is that role model I can be to my children, or my loved ones who look up to me, the family members. And I like to leave a legacy that, this guy kept his promises, and his steadiness, and he's always in a present moment, and is able to reach out anytime. Like in professional world, we'll say open door policy, but I kept my relationships wide open at any time of point of time. Anybody can give a call, and I will make sure I will available. Success doesn't mean to me just having our self growth, and I believe in growth plus gratitude, and also same time be there for all your loved members who are looking up to you, because when they're looking up to you, there is a reason why they're looking up to you. And if you're not able to respond back to them, and what is the point of having a success, claiming you being successful? So I would be happy. My people remember me as a guy who's lived as a role model, to is always reachable and is able to help us. And if my family can remember me as to live life with joy and resilience, and be intentional living rather than a purposeful living, than just living by default mode. So if I can inspire them and can leave that legacy, I'll be happy.
That's beautiful, Ganesh. And what I love about this answer is, by the end of our life, people will not remember the titles. They will not remember, the job
Exactly.
position, the home, the cars, the cottages, the boats, the whatever people are spending their time and energy and effort on. But they do remember how we made them feel, how we were always, one phone call away. We were there to listen. We were there to hold space. We were there to give guidance and mentorship. So I love this answer. There's so much depth and richness to it, truly.
Definitely, Dunia. I don't even remember what all the projects they successfully delivered now. I'm
So
like,
good.
what are we talking about? But I
Yes.
can remember the joy on the face of the people when I help them. I
Yep.
can clearly,
Yep.
even if years back, I can see them. And also at the same token, not just me helping the people, the help I received from the family and friends. And I know that situation is so critical. Even it's a tiny help, but that was a huge help at that time of my career or my personal state where I am. So I have humongous gratitude and grateful to all my people who helped me to shape where I am, and I want to give it back in by multifolds to them. As that way, at least that is what little I can do to them, to lift them or change their life a little bit. I mean, even if I don't want to make a big difference, but at least if we can change them little bit better, make them little bit happy, I think the purpose is served.
Absolutely. I love this so much. And I just wanted to ask you, just as we're on the PLA podcast, and it has been also an incredible community of like minded members that have come together and really grown and evolved. And we've had the absolute privilege of getting to meet through PLA. I'd love to know what has been your greatest takeaway from PLA thus far?
Many takeaways. I think that there is a something called PLA existed, and there's a platform like that for people. This is not the people where people are failure. People who are already successful, who are having a tremendous success, seems a tremendous success, and they want to go to a next level, and where they have a huge growth mindset and having the passion to learn every day. I mean, passion to improve every day. I mean, that's makes you better person, right? Once you are improving every phase of your life, in your every aspect of your life takes care. Your personal, professional life, and that happening in this community. And I see the proximity. It rubs on you. The moment people say, tell me about your friends, and you tell me, we can tell you about you, where you end up. So the kind of reps we are doing, and the kind of gatherings we have, and the learnings we are doing, so it's rubs on us, and I think it's showing up in our daily life. So it could be a spiritual path, or it could be a technological advancements, career advancement, or anything in life. Just get a different, seeing the life in a different lens. I think this is helping us out, and also the communication. I think this we hit on the nail, perfectly, because the communication is a key where we often ignore it. Communication, people think like, okay, just talking in a good English. No, there's much deeper level of things. How do you communicate your thought process, and how you pitch your sales, or how you communicate to a different audience at different format. So this is a whole level of learning. So I think there are many takeaways, and I think first of all, it's a proximity where we can trusted community, right, where we can be vulnerable, and we at the same time be proud that asking for help also. It's all part of the leadership, like rather than, where nobody's judging you. No, absolutely no judge zone. So these are the great attributes we have in this community.
Yeah, we've been so blessed, Ganesh, and you put it so well that it is a community of people that have seen success, have felt success, and are continuing to strive for success. And what is so beautiful is, I say, energy is contagious. Spaces like this, the proximity is contagious. So being able to spend so much quality time one another together has just created tenfold, hundredfold stories of success, which have been just a true pleasure and gift. I'm going to put a QR code for anyone who is curious about PLA. This is the next free training. I've been multiple times over. So many of our community members have been. Ganesh has been. There is so much value just in the training itself. Even if you never hear about PLA ever again, it is worth at least taking a look and just getting some value for yourself. I think everyone in this world could just boost and to live out their dreams and potential a little bit more. So I just want to put that out there for anyone who is curious. What is PLA? And I just want to get a little bit more information. They're more than welcome to if that speaks to them. And Ganesh, I just wanted to take the time to really thank you for your wisdom, your heart, your time today. It's been such a gift having you on the PLA podcast, truly.
Absolutely loved it, Dunya. You have been a role model, and I think you work so hard from long hours, but I don't see that smile has been depleting any moment. It's like, the day one, the day you start, and I've seen you in person also. You have been when your smile is so contagious, for everybody to live up the energy back. So I really appreciate what all the things you're doing it, and thanks for me having me on your show.
Thank you, Ganesh. Truly, and looking forward to having you again on the PLA podcast for sure. We'll have to have you back on. And thank you to everyone that was listening to our recording today of the PLA podcast. And we will catch you all for the next episode. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you.
Yeah.